You can call it God, you can call it the nature, you can call it the universe, no matter what. This force, this power does not make mistakes. God is not putting you in this earth incomplete. Why would he do that? What he's putting on the earth is existence. He's granting us existence.
Yeah.
And afterwards, it starts that we have concepts. We start thinking. We start having ideas about how this life is supposed to be. If you're not successful, it's not a life. If you don't have many cars, it's not a life. If you don't have many friends, it's not a life. Well, no, this is all human ideas. You came to the earth right from the beginning. You have been complete. The system how it is, the system how it was, it brings out some consequences. One of these consequences is very intensively the feeling of many people not being enough. And so if there is a place to change this, so how do I get rid of this hole that constantly needs to be filled up? That is the main question. And there, I would say, it is the mental direction, it's the mental state. So where do I need to change it? It's in the mind. It's in the way how I look at the world. If you only look at the world based on the system that you have been raised up, of course you are then part of the system, but it's only one out of many systems that are existing in this world. So starting to expand the mind, starting to also look at other people, how are they living the life, that maybe opens up now suddenly another perspective that, oh, there is something beyond having good grades. There is something more relevant, maybe more important, more life accepting than running after grades and filling up your life with more and more burdens that at the end also don't make you feel more free. It just makes you feel more heavy, because that one system is trying to fill up that hole inside of you, always by putting something more on top of you. Because this is what we're doing. In the beginning, we don't have money. We work until we have the first amount of money. Then you have it. You spend it. Whatever you have spent it on, it's not enough. It was enough for that one day when you spend it. There, the feeling of fullness or satisfaction was quickly there. But it's the same. In the beginning, it's a Golf, a Volkswagen, then maybe a BMW. One day you just keep working, no problem, it's gonna be a Porsche, but it's not gonna end at the Porsche. Promised. Either it's gonna be the second Porsche or it's gonna be another car. In the beginning it was not even a smartphone, it's like the big huge ones. Meanwhile, technology has moved on, but it has become normal that we are just simply spending the money on things that, I don't know, it has become convenient. But it's not, nowadays, it's not even filling up any gap there anymore. Because in our tradition, we think, yeah, it's the wrong approach. Many people don't see the things as they are. What does it mean? For example, this picture that we had before, that it's always about up, more. It needs to be filled up more. Yeah, it's never enough. So you want something, you work for it, you get it. In the moment you get it, you already have the next that you want. And it always moves on up this ladder. You always try to fill it up with something. This is also maybe one type of approach that this society, this world nowadays also wants to promote to you. That it's about having more, being more beautiful, higher, faster, harder, all of this. But when we simply observe how the things are right now, yeah, it's 1 p.m. UK, looking outside, the sun is still shining, but in 7 hours, it's not going to look like this anymore. In 7 hours, something has dramatically changed, which meaning the daylight is gone. So what we then have is what we call simply night. Since we are born in this world, this has repeated every day. Sunrise, sun goes down. So that means there is a up, there is a down. Since we are born, we have inhaled 50% of our times, we have exhaled 50% of our times. Our heart, the same. Sucking the blood, pumping the blood, also the same. Meaning always 50-50. Always the exchange between left and right, up and down, bright and dark, in and out, success and failure. It's just that this world is not propagating failure to you. It is propagating success to you. So our mind is looking for success, starting to believe there's only one way. There's only one direction in this life that we live, which is about moving upwards. But this world is not just about upwards. So realizing this, really understanding, it's not just about up. It's not just about taking. It's about taking and giving. It's about relaxing and doing. It's about exchange. It's about constant exchange with you, your peers, with people around you, with the world. It's about exchange, because exchange means there is a change. There's constantly happening some transformation. And this is what out there, this is what everything is built upon.
Have this inspiration in the mind, and then they start to manifest, because they know that mind is so powerful. I am capable of doing it. So they use the power of the mind to manifest something and either benefit themselves or maybe benefit others. But it is the same powerful mind which for other people then at the same time is creating the fear. But instead of understanding, yeah, but it's the mind, I just need to switch it over and make it useful for me. No, they stay inside the fear becomes more, the powerful fear becomes even stronger, and then it becomes so strong, the fear, that it even blocks people in doing anything. But the fear, it's a construct of the mind in the first place. You fear that you get a car is going to hit you tomorrow. Yeah, hello, we are not tomorrow. We are here right now. Why you think about tomorrow the car could hit you? Who says it's going to happen? And where is the evidence it's going to happen? Where's the evidence it's not going to happen? You don't know. Stop thinking about tomorrow. The music is playing here right now. But this fear of the future, this anxiety of what if, what if and what if not, both of them are there. But the problem with the fear is he's very strong. Fear is just nothing to let your life be determined by. Yeah, but then you ask yourself, but why? Because there is something else which is hindering him at the moment. And oftentimes this can be fear. Fear is number one. Fear of existence for some people. Fear of losing is the other thing. Fear is like the main runner. How do we deal with fear, for example? It's just like this. Fighting is not fun. Fighting against somebody else who also is trained, and then even if you have like gloves on, doesn't matter, it's quite painful sometimes. And also, very honestly, I don't like even to fight. It's not that I like it, but I feel the challenge about it. I feel how much I need to like jump over myself now to go out there and just, even if it's just training. So that means for a martial artist normally, it becomes like a different perspective when it comes to fear. Because it's all the time when you walk out there that you're dealing with fear. Fear of what if I lose? What if like he hit me? What if I get hurt? Yeah, what if I don't stand up anymore? So many fears is it that you are dealing with, but ultimately you conquer them. The outlook on the rest of the life looks different. It changes something inside of you. It changes the perspective, how you are looking at things, where you see other people, they are living in fear, but fear of nothing. Fear of something they have created with the mind. People have this inspiration in the mind, and then they start to manifest, because they know that mind is so powerful. I am capable of doing it. So they use the power of the mind to manifest something and either benefit themselves or maybe benefit others. But it is the same powerful mind which for other people then at the same time is creating the fear. But instead of understanding, yeah, but it's the mind, I just need to switch it over and make it useful for me. No, they stay inside the fear becomes more, the powerful fear becomes even stronger, and then it becomes so strong, the fear, that it even blocks people in doing anything. Why you think about tomorrow the car could hit you? Who says it's going to happen? And where is the evidence it's going to happen? Where's the evidence it's not going to happen? You don't know. Stop thinking about tomorrow. The music is playing here right now. The fearful part is one day you look back and say, you have wasted your lifetime. This is the fearful part.
As long as your body is healthy, you have thousands of problems. Yeah, but in the moment your body gets sick, you have one problem. That's why I mean, first of all, before like tackling everything, so how to build up your life and how to whatever do, make sure your body stays healthy. If the body is not healthy, you don't need to worry about anything else. How you learn to face the pain, use the body. So what is the very first thing anybody in the world is supposed to do? If you look at your life and realize that in the last 7 days, you are only sitting or lying, it's not enough. It's unbalanced. No matter what it is, that person is going to be unbalanced for sure. So this is why any type of physical activity doesn't need to be Shaolin Kung Fu. Any type of physicality needs to be inside the way of life of a normal human being.
You mean any sports? Like
any sport. Okay. So sport is already good. Ultimately meaning take care of the body. Because, there is a nice saying, as long as your body is healthy, you have thousands of problems. Yeah, but in the moment your body gets sick, you have one problem.
That's really true. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why I mean, first of all, before like tackling everything, so how to build up your life and how to whatever do, make sure your body stays healthy. If the body is not healthy, you don't need to worry about anything else. So respect, take care, and love your body. Nourish your body, nourish yourself in such a way that you understand it's something right now very, very precious to have. Okay, this is number one. Okay. Now, of course, there is a difference probably what type of sport you are doing, but I can only talk about, let's say, the Shaolin way, the Shaolin practices, and what is so special about them is that they are not based only on like external practices. Yeah, in the Shaolin way, sometimes you have just positions, you're just standing, body is not moving, but just because the body is not moving doesn't mean you are not training something, doesn't mean you are not doing something. It's just not visible on the outside.
Yeah.
That's why we call it's internal training. Internal training meaning, for just as an example, feeling how much tension do you carry inside of your body. If somebody likes stay like this, you can see I have tension. Okay, but then I relax the shoulder, okay, now looks better, but that's just the outside layer. The question is inside your organs, everything inside, how much tension do you carry there? So this is also a way what is happening in all of these martial art practices, meaning you become more fine than even about your body. And the more fine you become about the body, the more access you have to it. And because you become so fine, the mind becomes so fine. It becomes more subtle to the changes that are happening inside our lifetime. And then what do you do with that ability of you sense like the subtle changes? It is like you have a way better possibility right now to really fine tune your life. Yeah, you realize, oh no, that frequency doesn't sound right. Now it's okay. Yeah. So it has something to do with how fine are you to adjust your life. It's like you're a busy man, you have a hobby, you have a profession, you have the podcast, maybe you have a girlfriend, maybe you have children. The more you have, the more aware you need to become. How do all of these areas actually interfere to your overall feeling? And if one of these things needs more attention, you need to be able to sense this. If another is like too much, then you need to take a little bit. So it's always a type of balancing. The more areas in life you have, the more detailed, the more fine you have to become to balance all of this out. You spend too much with podcasts and with work and with your hobbies, well, your relationship won't be happy. It's just going to be like this. But you give all energy only into the relationship, well, you're going to be unhappy because all the other things that are also important to you don't have enough energy. So it's a very fine line. sometimes to really figure out how to adjust. And that means to be able to really sense, sometimes really sense the presence of the other person, which means just because somebody talks to you and smiles in your face doesn't mean the energy is right. Yeah, but exactly already with this word, when I say energy, yeah, it's sometimes strange to people. They say, "Wow, it's esoteric." So what do you mean by energy? But you know, it's very simple. People can laugh in your face, but you feel it's not real. People can just sit there and you can feel their suffering. People can sit there and pretend to smile, but you can feel they're angry. This is what I, in a simple way, say. Beyond what we see, obviously, there is another area that gives you more and more real, actually, information than the obvious what you think you see. Who gives you the guarantee? Not right now. No matter how healthy you're living, you get a heart attack right now. Where's the guarantee?
Well, I don't have one. It's one of my fears.
I don't have the guarantee. I don't know every morning if I wake up, life and death simultaneously at the same time. So using this type of perspective, success and failure, there is no successful person I know in this world that I would regard as successful who does not at the same time has success on this side and can prove to me on the other side all of the failures that eventually led to his success. We are living in a world which is about life. It is about light. It is about moving upwards. It is about successful. It is about beautiful. It is about higher, faster, better. This type of propaganda of making the human believe this life is one directional and that you can choose, I think is a misconception. The reality is that this one and this one. Losing, failure, letting go, dying, getting sick. It is a part of every human being's lifetime. So number one, that starting, when we started the conversation, that I hear is you mentioned the word fear.
Yeah.
Fear and also uncertainty. Yes. These two things are the biggest challenges every human being is going to face. The question is, are you living your life based on fear or not? And this fear, let's put it like this, is not helpful because it restricts you. It restricts your ability to, let's call it, to expand the mind. Fear is restricting you to discover because fear makes you to stay inside, let's say, the comfort zone. But why do we call something the comfort zone? It's because we have spent so many time already inside that zone that we know. You know everything about it inside there already. You have seen it, you have experienced all of it. That's why everything has become comfortable to you. So as long as you're comfortable, it means you are not leaving the things that you know. This existence is too big. It's 0.1% of knowing, it's 99% of not knowing. If you want to discover what is the 99.9%, it means you need to leave the space of knowing, you need to leave the space of comfort, you need to go into the uncertainty. And this is that fearful part. And people, the more fearful you are, the more you're going to stay where you are. The less fearful you are, the more you're going to expand, the more you're going to discover. So now the question is, how can I now learn to face your fear and to, let's say, to face it? And there again, I think the Shaolin practices is one of these ways. Like I said in the beginning, it starts with the fact of you have competition sometimes there when you're still young, facing other ones in competition. After all, the Shaolin Kung Fu is still a martial art, meaning you're also using the things together with another partner or do any type of sparring, meaning you're, even if you have gloves on, but you are standing there and are still willing to actually right now try out how good is the things that you have learned and how much pain can you take. So facing pain is also something that goes along the way of practicing the Shaolin martial arts. Now, to just give you an example, right now if I'm telling you, okay, let's make together, 50 push-ups, maybe you can do 50, but 200 you cannot make right now. So the question right now is, How can you move up from making 50 push-ups up to 200? It means that at the 50th push-up, even if you're struggling, even if it hurts, even if the muscles are burning, you need to learn to unlock that last power that you have and push through the pain and make at least the 51 push-up. This is the way how skills, how abilities start to grow inside of us. And in the same way how the body is growing, in the same way also, I think it is in regards to the mind. You don't have to jump right away into the darkness. This is not many people can do this. But realizing, okay, this is right now my comfort zone, and tomorrow I'm already trying one thing that is just new to me. Yeah, I feel, it still feels uncomfortable to me, but okay, let's try. Just one step out. Next day, another step out. Meaning, integrate the jump into the uncertainty into your lifetime until it becomes a habit. Yeah, this is the one way. That means how to develop that ability to go against the fear. This is one thing. And now the second part is, and I think this is now very useful for everyone. If you have the wrong image about yourself on this earth, if you are viewing yourself like from a wrong perspective, then it just means you will never get into the understanding what type of potential you are actually possessing.
What do you mean you have a wrong image of yourself? Can you give an example?
Yes, somebody who has never practiced martial arts.
Yeah.
If that person looks into the mirror, he will say, this is me. I have this black hair, I have this eyes, I have these lips, I have this skin color. This is the very first view. When you start practicing the martial arts, it goes hand in hand at some point that you see, okay, but inside of that bag of skin, there's more. You have a skeletal structure, you have muscles, you have tendons, you have organs, you have a whole system of I don't know how you call it, lymphatic system. You have, according to ancient tradition, you have an energy system. You can go even smaller into all of our organs are made out of molecules, the molecules of atoms and the atoms of proton, neutron, electron. The point is, you're becoming more and more fine, more and more refined about there is much more about us. Because in the moment where you realize that bag of skin has more on the inside, it also increases right now your ability. If you say health is important to me, well, then it's not enough to just like use cream on your skin. That is taking care outside. If you know there is more inside, then it means whatever you eat, whatever you do, whatever you're drinking, how does it affect what is inside of you? So all these practices, what does it do? It makes you become more refined about yourself. Your layer of when you look at yourself, when you sense into yourself, you feel more what you are. And still we're talking right now all about physicality.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just like in the psychosomatic relation, your mind is unhealthy directed, so the body can have an effect. So Shaolin tradition or this approach is exactly the other way around. Take care of the body, refine the body, and at the same time you refine the mind. The more fine you become about the mind. And why is the mind so important? Because I think, no, it's not I think, but it matters. If you wake up in the morning, what are you thinking when you wake up in the morning? And if you already wake up with conflict in the mind, wake up with unsatisfaction inside the mind, wake up with a feeling of lack of, I wake up, I have to do something quickly because I don't have it right now. Whatever it is. So running after something, this is where it is already. So the point is, why do we chase? Why do you chase anything? It is because you're in a state of lack. Something's missing. If you would have it, why would you chase it?
Yeah.
And now the question is, where does this lack come from? And now come back to the child, the incarnated soul, the incarnated spirit. When it comes to the earth, whoever made it possible for that child to come, you can call it God, you can call it the nature, you can call it the universe, no matter what. This force, this power does not make mistakes. God is not putting you in this earth incomplete. Why would he do that? What he's putting on the earth is existence. He's granting us existence.
Yeah.
And afterwards, it starts that we have concepts. We start thinking. We start having ideas about how this life is supposed to be. If you're not successful, it's not a life. If you don't have many cars, it's not a life. If you don't have many friends, it's not a life. Well, no, this is all human ideas. You came to the earth right from the beginning. You have been complete. This is the alternative. And this is what, let's say, at the moment, I would say is just guiding to rethink. So what is the next way of what can people do? Rethink your life. Look at how is your life looking at the moment? How did you spend the last 5 years, 10 years? And then also, do you maybe see some patterns in your life? Just because somebody talks to you and smiles in your face doesn't mean the energy is right. Yeah, but exactly already with this word, when I say energy, yeah, it's sometimes strange to people. They say, "Oh, it's esoteric." So what do you mean by energy? But people can laugh in your face, but you feel is not real. People can just sit there and you can feel their suffering. People can sit there and pretend to smile, but you can feel they're angry. This is what I, in a simple way, say. Beyond what we see, obviously, there is another area that gives you more and more real, actually, information than the obvious what you think you see. What energy is behind there? You refine the body, automatically you are refining the mind. Yeah. And this is where nowadays I think it's such a great help, actually, that it just looks like a martial art. It just looks like you do sport. Yeah, but with the right mindset, in the combination of what you are doing and what mindset you have, is a very, very powerful tool to combine two things, body and mind.
In the same practice.
In the same practice. Body and mind, yes. And translated into your inside world together with the outside world. Mm-hmm. So at the moment, people are chasing, which is not wrong.
Yeah.
But now, instead of having 100% of only chasing, do 80% chasing and 20% look inside. Adjust look. If you cannot face yourself 100%, face yourself 20%. Okay? When you are comfortable with 20% looking inside, move it up. 50% you do internal work about yourself, about your mindset, about your feelings, about your expectations, about the perspectives, how you're looking into the world, and 50% you invest in building something up on the outside. Now we're already at 50-50. And from there on, your decision how you continue. Some people go 100% inside and outside do nothing anymore. Yeah, but it's also for me personally, also not the way how I am at the moment working. No, this is the reason why I also accepted in a way to come to this podcast, because I just think it is a very, very good way to get this type of knowledge out. So I regard this also as my contribution in a way, yeah, with all the practices that I had before to now. I think there is something that can help people just by listening to it. That's why I do it. Yeah. But on the other side, when podcasts and all the events are finished, then I'm by myself, all alone. I'm very happy to be alone. I have no problem with that at all. And then go into my internal practices, refine myself, and actually working on myself. So working on yourself on the one side, and then with everything that you have discovered, give it out, do something, contribute to this globe, contribute something in this earth. This is my balance that makes me feel very, very comfortable.
What are you doing when you're alone?
So it's mainly training, or also really sensing inside where are the gaps. So just really sitting there and asking myself, what is the reason at the moment I don't enjoy this life? What is missing? Yeah. What's the reason right now for you to be unhappy about this life? Simple question like this. And really,
this is something that everyone can do, right?
Yeah. Not can do, only probably should do. Because if you don't ask this question, the answers most probably cannot come.
So you just sit and you ask yourself, why don't you like your life right now?
Yeah.
What is the gap?
What is missing in my life? Yeah. What do you think you still need? Does it really make sense? Imagining you would have already what you are wishing for, how would it change you right now? Now let's put it simple like this. Outside I have at the moment, maybe I have my Porsche standing. Now just imagine, instead of the Porsche outside, this time it's a Bugatti standing. Both of them your car. How does it change you sitting here? Nothing. Yeah. Only when you sit inside. Then there is a difference. But for right now, there are many things on the outside. They don't matter. What matters is, how do you feel right now? This is what matters. So there is something simple about it. The problem many times in nowadays world is that you are not here. You cannot just be alone with yourself. Either when you're alone with, either you're drifting off into the past about what everything went wrong in the past, or you're drifting off into what you still want to see and have in the future. So this projection either into the future or the memories into the past. Both of these things is what makes you suffer. We can sit right now over here and think about what happened last week, and then maybe it makes us angry. Or we can sit right now here and we look into next week. Oh no, financial department's gonna come. Yeah, and also makes you suffer again. But right now, there is no reason to suffer. I don't suffer.
Sometimes we say that the body is something very physical. Yeah, so physical in terms of you can see it. There's nothing like that you need to imagine. We all have a body. But now when we say mind, okay, but how can I show you my mind right now? The only thing that you see is the body. But we still talk about, but there is this mind. So in our tradition we say yes, because the mind is something that has no form. The body is the representation of form. So we have something formless and we have a form. And what is happening in between, what is connecting the formless with the form, that is the breath. This is why the breath is so powerful. Because when we are connecting our mind where the breath is, where, like I told you in the beginning, you need to focus the mind in this area. And then you feel the breath fill up here. And when the air enters out or leaves the body again, you also follow with the mind. So that means we are using the breath like an intermediate between the mind and the body. And yes, you said harmony of body and mind is important. So how do we achieve it? By first of all finding that one aspect which is connecting them, which is connecting the body and the mind, and that is the breath. So we have the body, we have the mind, and what is connecting those two? That is the breath. And the more you understand the breath, the more time you spend with the breath, the deeper you are able to penetrate into the mind and also into the body. This is the very nice part about all of this.
It's very interesting how can you learn using your mind to strengthen your body. Is it just the everyday exercises you do?
Actually, it's even maybe the other way around. So it's not just using the mind to strengthen the body. In the beginning, I would even say it's the opposite way. We are using our body to strengthen the mind because it is the strength, it is the discipline, and it is the power of the mind that starts to make your dreams and your visions and the goals that you have to make them come true. Because we all have like what we would like to achieve. But how do you achieve things?
How can we focus on it?
Well, you achieve things by staying committed. This is one thing. And second of all, by having a mind which is not easily breakable, which cannot easily break.
And how this can happen?
And this is why when we are using our body, for example, just standing in different positions, just staying still, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, don't move. Then what will happen is, slowly you start, maybe you get tired, the body starts to shake. But what is giving up the first is not the body. Normally it is your mind which starts to give up, because your mind is saying, oh, this is getting exhausting. How long do I still need to hold it? It's already shaking. I think I will stop it. And this is exactly the point where now, because your mind is challenged, because your mind right now is like, now's the time where you decide. Either you really stay disciplined and stay strong, or you give up.
How can we not give up? And how to stay focused?
Yes. So, staying focused. What is giving up? What is giving up is the mind. What for many people is giving up, what for many people is causing problems, what is causing the anxiety, what is causing that you have fear, what is causing that you're always worried about what will be, and all of these things are, what is the problem? The problem is the mind. The problem is the mind. So how do we solve it? By, first of all, learning more. What is the mind? This is one very important aspect, to learn what is the mind. Because in the moment, in the moment where your relation to the mind becomes more clear, when you start to understand what the mind actually is, then you slowly start to get access to change all these things that are troubling you. So ultimately what I want to say is, to solve all of these issues that the humans at the moment have, you have to learn more what is the mind. And therefore there are different methods, there are sometimes different teachings, different philosophies that try to explain to us what is like the mind. So, and it still is something very, very personal, everybody needs to learn, but you need a strong mind. If you want to change something about your life, you need a strong mind.
Waking up and first of all going for a run. Going for a run for the purpose of cleaning out your lungs and getting a lot of fresh air right in the beginning of the day into the body. We also regard the morning, meaning until noon. We are regarding that this is a certain time frame that is dominated, let's say, by rising young energy, which means that is exactly the point of time where you are supposed to come out, to do the work that takes a lot of effort from you, let's say, until noon. So, and this is why after the morning training, after the morning run, first of all, we have also our breakfast, because after the breakfast starts the first high-intensity training. High-intensity training can mean that the exercises I showed you with the practicing of the rings, that would be one of them. So you make several repetitions from this type of exercise. Or also I have my personal regimen at the moment of having the hardening exercises also in the morning. So around 11, 12 o'clock, we are normally finished with the first section. Then we're starting with preparing the lunch. 1 o'clock it's lunchtime, and followed up by a short break. And afterwards we have the afternoon training, where I either practice again my forms, do some stretching, or do also some standing exercises. The more methods you are starting to discover, you are gaining more knowledge, you are gaining more methods, but at the same time you feel like you don't have enough time to even practice all of this. And this is where now my understanding goes, that there is the saying, it is impossible to master Kung Fu in one lifetime. I can understand somehow where this idea is coming from. And what does it mean, mastering Kung Fu? And there one teacher used to say, practicing Kung Fu is life, and life is Kung Fu. So if you master Kung Fu, it means it's mastering life. It means you're mastering to take life into your own hands. In the Kung Fu, you are responsible
to build up yourself as a Kung Fu master. Kung Fu master, master of life, mastering your own life. This is what all of this is about. And sometimes one lifetime is not enough to get all the tools in order for you to know how to fix everything that this life is throwing at you. And this is again where then the idea comes from, that every lifetime we need to use in order to make us grow, in order for us to learn something new within this lifetime. Because if you believe in it or not, just assuming it would be like this, the knowledge you are gaining in this life period, you're gonna get as a new nice package for the next time you come back. Which means you don't want to waste that lifetime right now doing unnecessary stuff that does not bring you forward. Why not? Because in case you come back, you're gonna face the same issues again that you did not solve in this lifetime. The first arrow always hits. That first arrow always hits means there are certain things, like sometimes words or an insult. Somebody is insulting you, it's gonna hurt. You're gonna feel that it's like just hit your ego, for example. The same goes for the physical exercise. In the moment I hit whatever material that is, I feel the pain. It's not like, it's important to understand, it's not that something is numb. It's not that like I don't feel any sensation anymore. I feel the pain. I feel the insult. But what now the Buddhist teachings say is, make sure the second arrow doesn't hit. And the second arrow is the one that oftentimes you are shooting at yourself. Because after the first one hit, you are crying about being hit. And that means if I feel the pain and I try to, let's say, avoid that pain, or I suffer because of this pain, that is something that directly with my mind I try to avoid. So instead what I do is I realize, I observe what is this sensation? What is it that I call, that human called pain? What is that sensation? How does it really feel? So what is it? Is it sharp? Is it dumb? Where exactly is it? Where is the starting point from it? How much does it radiate? And so by observing this, I can detect, I can feel that there is something collecting, let's say, around that area, or even trying to collect and condensate in the mind. And then you learn to release. Even if this is loud, but during the exercises, I feel the pain, I release it. What starts to tense up, I use my mind to do the opposite. What starts to cut into the ego, I directly make the opposite of releasing it. And it is this interplay. Something comes, you release it. More of it comes, you need to learn to release deeper. So that means the more you practice, the deeper your level of relaxation, the deeper the level of your ability of letting go becomes. And then it will always be just like, it's like an interplay. The pain is there and you release. Pain level number 1, you can release. Then comes pain level number 2. In the beginning, it's still difficult, but you learn, you repeat your releasing. And then suddenly you realize, okay, now my ability has become good enough that even pain level 2 is released. Then comes number 3. Why? Because you start to hit harder, or you start to hit more often. And so this is also like in that process, the step-by-step approach, let's say, to get used to it. And like I said, once you went over a certain limitation, that limit is done. That same pain doesn't come anymore. You went over it. You have overcome it. And if people are insulting you for this type of translation now, you learn to not let it attack or even move your ego. In the beginning it's hard, but future insults, you will just feel they don't move you, because you already have the ability to release. And why would you ever let somebody else take away your life quality just by insulting you. That is exactly what this is about. If you do not take charge about your own internal way of cultivation, there is too much out there that can feel like an insult. But none of that is worse that you are like wasting your lifetime for it, feeling bad about it.
Thank you so much to Master Shi Heng for doing this video. If you want to support Master Shi Heng, please head over to shaolin.online. Today's video was made possible at mulliganbrothers.com with the link in the description. You can get the Not a Journal. It is back in stock. Use code JOURNAL at checkout for 10% off. Guys, this is while stocks last. Last time it sold out, and for months and months you guys have been messaging us, getting on the waiting list, asking for these things. So these are back finally. Thank you to everybody.
Once the cup is empty, now it can be filled up again. What is it that might be the key that you learn to let go of something? And this letting go is of course going to be uncomfortable. Why? Because it is something that no one normally in our school systems, you don't find the subject how to let go. You find the subject how to get more. And so that means in that moment when people are getting confronted the first time with this type of teachings, it's uncomfortable. And so someone is always confronted between here, then he's brought down. Then he gets messaged how he will build himself up again. Then he gets smashed down again. And so it continues. Every time when we as humans feel something is lacking, the answer is just consume more, which means just go out and look where are you going to find something that is going to fill up that gap, to fill up that hole that you are feeling. That is the approach that we have outside. But by observing this type of behavior, I think you can see that no matter how much you consume, no matter how much of these offerings you are taking, you never become full. It's always only a question of time until your new desire starts to arise. It always just fills that small gap, that small hole for a short moment. This feeling that suddenly something has hit really deep, has packed the core. This is the essence of what we call the Zen teachings, the Chan teachings, where the Shaolin Temple belongs into. These are the teaching methods, meaning getting out of the comfort zone is part of the process. If I realize somebody already starts to feel like very confident again, very bright, then I know, okay, it's time to shut him down again. So someone is always confronted between here, then he's brought down. Then he gets messaged how he will build himself up again. Then he gets smashed down again. And so it continues. Last week you said I should do like this. So you told me to go in this direction. Today I'm asking you the same question, but you are telling me I should go in that direction. And I said, yes. 3 weeks after, Shifu, now you tell me 3 different things. This direction, that direction, and then once again, you're telling me in this direction. What type of teaching method is that? It is for you to figure out yourself after you have wandered between the different extremes that are existing. First, I push you in that direction. Then you walk. Then I tell you other direction. Then you walk there. Then maybe we change again. Then you walk back there. Until you realize it's not here and it's not here. It's all of that. That's possible. Discovering what type of a person you are, what type of character you are, and just to reset yourself for whatever is going to come afterwards. So, and ultimately, what for? Why should a disciple go through all of this type of education? Because once the cup is empty, now it can be filled up again.
Everything that you watched that was filmed today was made possible with mulliganbrothers.com. And so many of you are ordering the Not a Journal ready for 2023 that if you go to the website right now and use code 2023, you will get buy one, get one free on all journals. If you don't like the journal for whatever reason, I believe in them so much that when I designed these and the success that they gave us, I will give you 100% of your money back as soon as you return it, no questions asked. That's how much I believe in these guys. The support as well on the t-shirts that are now on sale, all the profits, as you all know, go back into making these videos. That's how we get our film crew around the world. That's how we interview people and find people like Master Shi Heng. So thank you to everybody who has been supporting us. If you want to support Master Shi Heng and the Shaolin Temple Europe, you can go to shaolin.online and get free resources and also paid courses with that link down there as well. And guys, for my subscribers out there, only 13% of you have got the notification bell pressed. Hit that button. I have about 5 new projects coming out and I want you guys to see it. The subscribers aren't getting to see it at the moment, so I want to hit that notification bell. Go do it right now. Go on, guys. No, you don't have to really, but if you can, hit the notification bell. If you want to see the full content, go over to the interview channel. And lastly, if you want to help us out a little bit more, consider becoming a YouTube member with the join button down below. Thank you so much. Have a blessed and productive day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.